A revolutionary. Say whoa. Trap revolutionary. Got the wave it too scary. Doing this thing like Malcolm ain't by any means necessary. We ain't got it by no one seen hand. We got the master plan. Get the movement going on. Right here where we stand, man. We bucking and stumping, fist pumping. Even though they tried to set us up for failure and kill us, we keep on coming. That's why somebody gotta step up and say something about the bullshit. Because if not, the blind gon' keep leaving.
What's going on, y'all? I'm gonna make this video real quick because I was just thinking about something like work, like grinding, man. You know how we be trying to make so much money, here, especially in the United States, right? To support ourselves, to make a living. So, I was just thinking like, man, it started making me think. I'm like, man, we really trapped in the matrix. That's the best. That's what came to mind when I thought about it. I was like, man, like, just think about like the cost of living is high. Because especially if you travel, you go to other countries, you just know, things of food, dinner, drinks, just whatever it may be, right? Taxi ride, whatever it may be. It just don't cost as much as it does here in the United States. So, and we all, most people I talk to, like, we're all in basically the situation where we're working to pay bills. You know what I'm saying? I've happened to have the fortune to actually start just only working for myself. You know what I'm saying? And now it's to where I feel like I'm getting to breathe a little bit, but at the same time, I still got big bills. Not no little bills. I still got big bills. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in this sense still where I'm working to pay bills, but I feel a sense of relief. I'm not gonna even lie. Being I'm not working a job, anymore. I'm still able to support myself, but I do feel a sense of relief. But just thinking and saying that, all the people that, I know that are working, it's what it is, working to pay bills, trying to get out of debt or working to pay down debt, So it's like we working to pay bills, trying to get out of debt, trying to, make a living and then, also halfway live a decent life, And another thing, a lot of, and this is the truth, this is just the truth of what it is. A lot of us are not doing what we really want to do in our lives. It's work-wise. We're doing something that, a job or something that we make money from to support ourselves, but it's not necessarily what we really, really want to be doing in life. So I didn't say that. And then you just think, it makes you think like, man, that further confirms like we are really in a matrix. Like we pretty much trapped in a matrix. And it's not to say like I'm just, it's kind of like being redundant and being, I'm some type of guru of knowledge and I'm screaming the matrix because it sounds good. It's not that at all. But the truth of the matter is when you think about it, it makes you understand like, okay, what am I doing? What am I working for? Am I happy with my work? And when I do work, when I do get money, when I do get paid for the week, bi-weekly or, when I get paid for the month, do I really, really have enough to pay my bills and be comfortable? And most of the time, that's like 3 no's. We're not doing what we want to do, within job-wise. Like, that's not really what we want to be doing with our lives. When we get paid, it is it enough to pay our bills? It's probably right enough to pay our bills. But the third thing is like, after that, like what's left? Like it's barely anything left. You know what I'm saying? So we really not even living the life we really want to live. So it's like, man, it's 3 factors that kind of show us like we're basically in a matrix. You know, especially like I said, especially you're not working a job you want to work. You know, you're not. This is not something you would really be doing with your life if you didn't need it to make income. You know, and then when you do get the income, it's like, is this enough to really pay everything off? And then, like I said, the third thing is, are you comfortable? Where you just like, you don't even, you don't feel a crunch after you pay all your bills. So, is it even enough, for, you to support yourself, and it's barely, like I said, it's barely enough. And then people are, just when you get to where you just work to pay bills. You know what I'm saying? You're not even really living life. Like that's the truth of the matter. And, my thought process is like, okay, what if we were not so pressed to always, to have to pay bills and stuff like that? What if we actually all were able in a different system, man, that was set up differently, where we're not, especially, man, because the main thing is working somewhere you really don't want to work. You really don't want to be there. In your heart and your spirit is like, and it down there, it crushes some people. And most people I talk to, like, they kind of like, they this is not what they really want to be doing. Like, it's crushing people. Like, man, like, in my heart and my spirit, like, I know I don't want to be on this job. You know what I'm saying? And man, like, if I didn't have to do this, I would not be doing it. So, and even in that sense, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I think the world would be better if we could all find our life's work. But I would say, I provide a caveat to that. But be excellent in that, though. Be excellent in that field. Not just to be like, I'm going to do whatever and then, hope somebody like it, or I'm going to try to do something, you know what I'm saying, and not provide the best service or the best product out there. So I would say that in that sense, if that was required, we could do. I think we could all produce something better and benefit each other's lives, and we all could do what we want to do in life, and then be able to, like I said, provide something of benefit to each other, and not just be out here willy nilly with it. You know what I'm saying? Because we couldn't say, everybody's gonna do what they want to do in life, and then, basically society's kind of, throw it off because people putting out some, I don't know, you want to say, unstellar product, or, just, mediocre product. So I would say in that sense, like, say if we was on a system where like everybody could do what they want to do in life, but at the same time, you're going to be required to put forth your, like, the best product. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be regulated to where, we know what you're doing. We know if this product is good or not. And if it's not, you out the game, so you got to come on with it. I would say that even just like something like that could be a solution. Like, man, we all pulling to do what we want to do in life and support each other. But at the same time, we got to put the best, product forward, forth out there, so, man, I just think about that, man. Like, the system is just, yeah, we pretty much are in a situation to where, people are living to where they just basically trying to pay bills, living, working, paying bills, and not working in the field or the career that they really, really want to be in. So, some people are, though. Some people are, and that's cool. But for the majority, it's not. We're not, doing the things we really, really want to do with our lives. You know what I'm saying? So I was just sitting here thinking about that. I was like, dang, man, this is crazy because, so many of us are, we're in that pretty much situation, So, I just think about that, man, and how, and it's hard. It's hard to go from, working a job and you may be making a certain income to actually doing something on your own and, trying to provide for yourself, without the job, with me, like, with me, I'm doing real estate. I was actually in the yard of one of my houses that I'm finna, rent out today. And I was just thinking to myself, man, I was at at peace is I'm working in the yard, basically getting, some of the, the yard, the landscaping in the yard straight, and putting, little shrubs down and stuff like that, putting mulch down. And I was at peace doing that, and I'm just like, I'm thankful, thankful to God. Like I'm able to do something that I like to do, I want to do, so, and I'm at peace with it. And I think a lot of other people would be at peace as well if they were able to do what they want to do without, working a job that they don't want to be at. And then you're not even getting enough at the end. Like I said, your pay period to really take care of your bills, take care of yourself and your bills like you need to, so, yeah, I just want to get on here and say that, man, because I was just thinking about it. I was like, man, it's hard. And then at the same time, too, I was talking to a friend of mine about, the bills and stuff like that. I was just like, man, and that determination to try to make some things happen for yourself. I think you have to have the determination. And I said a sense of excellence. You can't get away from that. If you are thinking about going, doing something on your own, you got to have a sense of excellence, a sense of urgency, and a sense of determination to do those things. And I would say even me, because I prayed about it. I was like, I know I was like, in the streets or whatever before, hustling. I was like, and I'm going to get it, like really, really hustling, right? But now trying to do everything legit, taking the legal route. I was like, I just asked God to get my hustle back, but in a legal way. Like I literally prayed about it, like, God, please just get my hustle back. Like give me that sense of, going to get it and just determined to make things happen, and to, just always be coming up with something and being ingenious in making things happen, so, and I feel like it came back tenfold. Cause like I said, now I'm in real estate and, even car rental business and stuff like that, things are like coming up for me, and I'm just like, I'm grateful for it. I'm really grateful for it. I would say that though, to the people out there that like, that you probably thinking about like, hey man, I need to get on my own. I need to do something, get out this rut I'm in, or if you feeling like you like, dang man, I'm really not, I used to be a certain way. I used to be able to go get it and just like come up with things and, attract certain things to me. I would say, hey man, just pray about it. I think God bless you, for what's in your heart, and you'll be blessed to do those things that you really want to do in life, So I would say that, really, really pray about it, man, and ask God to help you. You know what I'm saying? I really think that will really, like I said, that will really help to, get you back on the right track, and to, get you back to where you need to be. But yeah, I was just thinking about that, man, because I was like, man, we were really, just what it is. We like really trapped. And, a lot of us are doing things we really don't, like I said, we really don't want to do with our lives, working these jobs, stuff like that. But we're doing it to pay bills. And nothing is wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with that. But I would say if possible, try to find a way that you can do what you really want to do in your, with your life, in life. That's what I would say. Try to find something that, you really, really want to do with your life and just try to go at it, man. Try to really do that. Try to do those things, and, make a difference, That's what I would say in what you want to do in your life. And I actually just want to, man, I want to do some other things in my life, but, I would say, with real estate, maybe even in film, I'm actually thinking about doing that, like things with film, entertainment and stuff like that. But I just knew real estate was going to be one of the things I was going to do, though. I had already wrote that down before I even started doing anything, like I was investing and stuff like that. But I actually started write my stuff down, like my life plan, you know. So, you know, trying to figure it out, man, you know. Let me see, was it 2018, 2019? I just wrote, I'll say that's another good thing. Like, write all your stuff down, like that you want to do in life, like whatever it is, like 1 to 10, 1 to whatever, 20, you know, maybe just 1 to 3, you know, write it down. You know, write down what you want to do with your life, you know, and that's really, it's really good, and it's a major benefit because having it wrote down is kind of like a compass. You can always come back to it. Like, man, have I started this? Have I did that? Have I did that? Have I made the contacts I say I'm gonna make or whatever? You know what I'm saying? So that's you know, man, it's a great benefit. You know, I think that if you did that, you can end up working towards your goal, or kind of working towards that slowly but surely, you know, and like I said, tracking it and kind of coming back to it. And actually, I think this is, I think, a major benefit, because when you tell somebody, you're like, hey man, I got my life plan written down, you know, like it's written. And I actually think like you start attracting those things to you after you write it down. You know what I'm saying? You really do, you know. But yeah, matter of fact, what I was just talking about these facts, it said estimates on job unhappiness vary widely, said by a survey or whatever. It said like 10 to like 60% of U.S. workers are unhappy, disengaged, or dissatisfied with their jobs. You know what I'm saying? And it says some polls show a high overall satisfaction, but others indicate up to like 85% of employees globally are not engaged or dissatisfied with their work. So it's like a lot of people are not really satisfied or not really doing what they want to do, you know, in life or whatever, you know, especially, you know, working certain jobs, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I just want to get on here and say that, man. And then just say also, man, being, you know, like provide some encouragement to people that maybe are, you know what I'm saying, or dissatisfied or not working the job that they want to work, you know, and not happy, you know, because of that. You know, I would say, hey, man, I'll just be encouraged. And I just want to say, you know, start, you know, making your life plan, you know, to do what you want to do in life, what you really want to do in life. Start making your life plan. Write it down. Write your life plan down. Like I want to do, you know, this, and this, you know, with my life, you know. And I think writing it down, like I said, it attracts those things to you, and then it actually starts moving you in that direction. It starts lining you up where you actually will become aligned with who you are, you know, what you want to and what you want to do in life. It aligns you with who you are and what you want to do in life when you write your life plan down. You know, so I would say that, man, you know, like, you know, be encouraged. And I understand, because I said I'm working a job that I dreaded going to. I am not even lying. I dreaded going to. But you know, I'm thankful that right now I'm in a situation where I'm doing what I really want to do, you know, and I'm more happy. I can say that, you know, getting more rest as well, you know. So, you know, but yeah, I just want to get on here and say that, man. I just, you know, just thinking about that today. And, you know, just thinking about, you know, just saying that and, you know, like kind of like breaking it down, you know, because sometimes people say that we're in the matrix, but, you know, really break it down, though. You know, why you know, we can say, we can see why we're in the matrix, you know, the matrix. So, and I would say, man, I just wish that, you know, we could go back to basically a simpler way of living, you know, like seriously. You know, like who says we have to be on this platform, you know, to where we're living? You know, people like it because of the luxury or whatever, the somewhat luxury. But then when you think about the cost of it, it's like, man, we had a more simpler way of life. It'd probably be a lot better, you know, for everybody. less stress, people being more happy, you know what I'm saying? Not worried about, it's like over here, especially in America, worried about money. We worried about money because we're trying to pay bills, we're trying to stay afloat, so I would say even a more simple life, like just natural, living a natural life, water, food, being able to grow our own food, even instead of worried about having to drive a car or whatever, even if it could be more simple, like with, riding a horse or something, riding, you don't have a horse itself, maybe some other form of transportation, So, yeah, I do really wish though, man, we can kind of go back to more of a simple life, to where we're, like I said, we're living off the land, living on the land and off the land, and helping each other, But anyway, man, I'm gonna get up off here. I just want to say that, feeling like we're in the Matrix, man, and kind of like just talk about that, talk through it, and also, try to provide some ideas of what people can do to kind of like, slowly but surely, get out the Matrix, get out the way of living to where, where it's causing you to be unhappy or whatever. But anyway, I'm gonna get up out here, y'all. Just want to say that, I hope everybody out there doing well, living life for the love and happiness, doing great, striving for greatness every day. And, like I said again, appreciate everybody out there, looking at my videos, liking or whatever, sharing. And to the next one, y'all. All right, y'all. Love y'all. All right, to the next one. All right.
Fuck it, go ahead and blow off the dough. Step through the maze, man, and became amazing. About to rewrite history and change a page in a crooked book that never told us the true story. Like how we were kings and queens before the slave story, before the killing, stealing, and drug dealing on some real shit. We ran the world.